Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It's your brother Mujadid Hama'ah, and I got here today. It says that actually, hold on, it says my connection is weak. I'm not sure. It changed. Okay, so I got the book here today. It's just thumbing through some of this, and I wanted to show you guys something real quick. I got the book here, 48 Laws of Power. Okay, 48 Laws of Power. And it seems like a lot of people out there love this book. It's a good book for us to be really just taking knowledge of how to deal with enemies or friends. And so, you know, I heard of several brothers talking about this book. Aki, Assalamu alaikum, you should really get this book, 48 Laws of Power, 48 Laws of Power. And at first I was hesitant because anything that says 48 Laws of Power, I'm thinking of, first thing that comes to my head is oppressors. Power, people that just want power just to have power. You know, to do whatever desires that they want to do. So, you know, but as knowledge dictates and wisdom dictates, it's good to know what your enemy's thinking. Because then I started looking at, I wanted to know exactly, you know, what, you know, who wrote this. And first I looked it up. Mr. What was it called? Robert Greene. Yep, Robert Greene. And did a little bit, you know, look at Robert Greene, and I could tell you some. That's one of them higher up evil guys. You know what I'm saying? Really evil. So I want to get to this something real quick. I want to show you something. So I'm going to Law 26, and it's called Keep Your Hands Clean. Now, in the Deen, we know what keeping our hands clean means. You know, it's pretty, you know, that comes across you right away what keeping the hands clean means you just don't do the haram. You know, you don't involve yourself with the wrong type of things as best as you can, inshallah. And if you happen to do that, you make a mistake, you know, you do tawbah, you turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you try your best, you know, to do as best as you can according to what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has revealed or sent down. However, according to Law 26, in this book, it's called Keep Your Hands Clean. Here's what it says under the category of judgment. It says, you must seem a paragon of civility. It means you must seem like you're civil. And efficiency. Your hands are never soiled by mistakes and nasty deeds. Maintain such a spotless appearance by using others as scapegoats, and cat paws to disguise your involvement. Okay, so what it basically is telling you, it's not really telling you to have clean hands and clean intentions in the heart. What it's telling you is to be an actor, is to pretend to be a person of a spotless character, which is what a lot of politicians do, because this is a politician book. If you want to know the mentality of the politicians, this is the book. See, 48 Laws of Power. That's the book that the politicians, you know, this is a politician's book. You know, how they act in front of the cameras, right, to gain your, you know, whatever, trust or whatever that they're trying to gain out of you, right? So, again, I'm going to say it one more time, then I'll go into it. It says, so you must seem a paragon of civility and efficiency. Your hands are never soiled by mistakes and nasty deeds. Maintain such a spotless appearance by using others as scapegoats and cat paws to disguise your involvement. So then he goes on to say, conceal your mistakes, have scapegoats around to take the blame. So he goes more into emphasis on that. And this is what he says, part 1. Our good name and reputation depend more on what we conceal than on what we reveal. Everyone makes mistakes, but those who are truly clever manage to hide them and to make sure someone else is blamed. A convenient scapegoat should always be kept around for such moments. So basically what he's saying is, you're going to be out there doing dirty stuff. You want to look like you're the good guy. And you always want to keep somebody around you so that they can take the blame and they fall for the stuff that you do. Okay? That lets you know what type of politicians you're dealing with. And it lets you the mentality, it lets you know the type of mentality that white supremacy has. So when they come to you all nice and smiling and shaking your hands, they want to make a deal with you. They want to make an oath, with you, a pact, a treaty with you, and they're acting spotless and they're acting nice, right? This is what they're doing. Somebody's going to take the fall. Somebody's going to be the scapegoat. They're going to put somebody in a situation so that they can put the blame on them. And that is the reason why they're keeping such and such a person around. The thing I want to show is that in Islam, I noticed one good thing in this, and this is the very tricky thing. They have some good in here, but then they mix it with bad. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says inside the Quran, do not mix truth with falsehood. They said, our good name and reputation depend on more than what we conceal, depend more on what we conceal than what we reveal. Everyone makes mistakes, but those who are truly clever manage to hide them. Now that part is true. We have a hadith from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam where he says that when you make a sin, of course when you do tawbah, it's a sin that you did in private, that you don't go out there and you don't show the world the sin that you did. You just go and you do tawbah, forgiveness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you try your best not to do it, because it says inside the hadith that a person who reveals a sin that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has hidden, that will, it'll be shown in front of everybody on the day of judgment. And Allah's like, who are you to reveal a sin in which I myself have hid from people? But also another hadith indicates that if you reveal your sins that you did privately, if you reveal them to people, then on the day of judgment, Allah will have to punish you for it. Something to the effect of that. So this one part is actually something it tells you good. It's telling you, you make mistakes. Everyone make mistakes. Everyone, and those who truly clever manage to hide them. But then the next part is the devious part. It says, and to make sure someone else is blamed. Now we know in Islam you cannot put your faults on somebody else. That's slander, right? So the reason why I'm bringing this out to you is because you have to realize the people that run this society at the very top, if you want to call it the top, this is the mentality that they have. This is just one of the ways that they have. I'm going to read some other stuff too. But this is the mentality that they have. And this is the mentality that is trickling down through the media, in rap videos, in music videos, the mentality of pretension, not being sincere with people that you meet. I show you, but the face that I show you is not really me. And this is the type of mentality when it comes from the high places, it comes down to the low places, and the low places begin to emulate those in the high places, because those in the high places are the ones with the power, are the ones with the fame, are the ones with the money, and everybody, a part almost of everybody, or majority of people want that fame or want that power or want that recognition, so they would try to emulate their rulers or the strong or the powerful. The Prophet ﷺ said, there are two in a society that if they are corrupt, then the society is corrupt. And there are two in society that if they are righteous, then the society is righteous. And he said that is the rulers and the scholars. That is your educated people, and that is your people with influence. If those two are corrupt, majority of your society is going to be corrupt. Because people aim to achieve what those people have achieved because they see them as the guidance or the lamppost or the light to follow in order to be able to achieve success in life, because obviously they're at the top. So therefore they must be the successful. So people will try to indeed emulate them. And so this is the type of mentality in the 48 laws of power that you have running this type of society. And you have some people that are even in the deen, and you have some people that, regardless of what religion you're part of or what spirituality you're part of, you have some people that actually read this book, 48 Laws of Power, and they think it's a good book. They think it's something that they, I know that there's some people thinking this is a strategy you can use for war against an enemy. Unfortunately, it teaches you deep, 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 deep down inside to be a deceitful person continuously. That's the sign of a munafiq. The signs of a munafiq, right, is that when he speaks, he lies. Right? When he speaks, or one sign is, even when he debates, to the point, even if he debates, he becomes abusive and harsh. Right? And also, when he's entrusted with something, he breaks his trust. In this book, 48 Laws of Power, you will find all of that. And it's put in such a manner that's attractive that it makes you think that, hey, this is the strategy, this is the way. And some people might even look at the hadith of the Prophet when he was on the battlefield. He said, in war there's deceit. So they might take this book and start to say, oh, this is the way. They might say, this is the way. Because even the Prophet said war is deceit. But that was only when he was on the battlefield. And that was only when he was in the midst of conflict. It had nothing to do with his day-to-day life. Okay? So I'm going to read another one. Let's read another one. I'm just going to thumb through real quick. Okay. And they have a thing called keys of power. So they give you how to implement what they're saying too. So that was just... keep your hands clean. So that was keep your hands clean. Court attention at all costs. Let's see what this one is. Law 6, judgment. It says this, quote, everything is judged by its appearance. What is unseen counts for nothing. Never let yourself get lost in the crowd, then or buried in oblivion. Stand out. Be conspicuous at all costs. Make yourself a magnet of attention by appearing larger, more colorful, more mysterious than the bland and timid masses. So it's saying to pretend to be like this. Right? It's a pretension. He said, make yourself a magnet of attention by appearing larger, more colorful, more mysterious than the bland and timid masses. So again, we're not dealing with a person whose intention is to maybe, the intention within itself is not sincerity. Like for example, when I came to this camera right here, I wanted to share something with you out of sincerity, and I wanted to be honest about what I'm sharing with you. I wanted to read it to you, and then I wanted to tell you and give you my viewpoint on it. Right? I'm being sincere in my heart. I'm not acting. I'm not trying to be colorful in life. I'm not trying to be, you see what I'm saying? Is a difference. Whereas this is telling you, right, wherever you go, whatever you do, because people judge the outside of things, and what is not seen don't count. Right? Never let yourself be lost in the crowd, then or be buried in oblivion. Stand out. Be conspicuous at all costs. Make yourself a magnet of attention by appearing larger, more colorful, more mysterious than the bland and timid masses. Clearly, this is for the aim of self-gain, self-desire. Right? There's nothing wrong with gaining stuff to help your life and stuff like that, because we got to live in life. But the aim here, the underlying aim here is deception. If you go throughout this whole book, all these laws are about deception to get only what you want and don't care about nobody else. Now that type of a heart, can you imagine that type of a heart in a society? Right? When you meet people, it's only to get what you want out of them. It's never about being concerned about the person that you're dealing with. You see what I'm saying? It's never about when you meet somebody and, okay, you know, I'm going to share something that I got to say, and a piece of my mind and my spirit, my soul with this individual right here. Yeah, I'm on guard. You know what I'm saying? I'm not stupid, but I'm on guard. I'm going to take a little bit, and I'm going to, you know, out of being a sincere person, so a person can feel my sincerity. And I'm going to share, and hopefully this person's got that same mentality and that same mind, and that person can share too. See? And we're being sincere with each other. We're being honest with each other. That's what's lacking in the society. You know? And it's because of people that run and they go by these type of books. They actually wrote the book. So actually, this book is coming from the minds of these think tanks and these people. This is what's in their heart. Deception. Right? So he goes on to say that what is unseen doesn't count. So he said everything is judged based upon what's seen, and that's true. But sometimes that's not true. Some people don't go by what they see. They try to look beneath the surface. They don't go by what they're looking at. They go by what they feel from you. They want to know what's inside your heart. They want to know what's inside your mind for real. You know? They don't want to go by just an appearance. So it's not always true. It's only about appearance. A person can feel when a person's being real, and a person can feel when a person's being fake, regardless of your appearance. So it's not always about appearance, but they have to set that premise because they want everybody to think that that's all what it is. Right? So that way you play to the appearance of things, and therefore lead you into the door and into the house of deception. Because then you start thinking in your head, okay, it's only about appearance, then I have to appear this way, and I have to appear that way, and I can't be real, I can't be me, I have to be what everybody else want me to be. You see? When you are playing a role, you don't get a chance to be able to look deep inside your own hearts to figure out where you're lacking at so that you can fix yourself when you're playing a role. And this book tells you to play roles all the way. This one was called Law 6, and it's called Court Attention at All Costs. And I guess that means at the cost of your own self and knowing yourself and being able to fix yourself. Right? Because you deceive people too long, you'll be deceiving yourself. So, okay, let's see what it says. It says, Part 1, surround your name with the sensationalist and scandalous. So this is the same one. And it says, draw attention to yourself by creating an unforgettable, even controversial image, court scandal. So it's telling you to do scandal to get that attention. Do anything to make yourself seem larger than life and shine more brightly than those around you. So you're looking for the shine. You're not looking to help people. You're not looking to better your life and others' life. You're just looking to shine. And so you don't care about nobody else. It's not about nobody else. It's about your shine. Right? And shine more brightly than those around you. Make no distinction between kinds of attention. So they don't care what type of attention they get. Notoriety of any sort will bring you power. Better to be slandered and attacked than ignored. Better to be slandered and attacked than ignored. So now I'm going to go into another area. Do you wonder why what people call the so-called conscious community? Let's just use that, or any platform really. You want to know what's going on? There you go. That's what's going on. I bet you if you go to a lot of these brothers and sisters, I bet you they got this book. I bet you they don't read it. Right? So it says, make no distinction between the kinds of attention. Notoriety of any sort will bring you power. Better to be slandered and attacked than ignored. So this is about causing chaos. This is about causing mischief. This is about causing the ill will between people's hearts so that you get some attention, so that you get some power. Now, a ruler like that and a politician like that or a spiritual leader like that or a conscious person like that, you think that they can help you with any of the sicknesses that a person is going through? So, you know, I mean, that's just about to, I'm going to do one more. Getting others to do the work for you, but always take the credit. You know, that's the kill-off mentality. You know, I go out there, I have a team of people, and if I go out there and have these people do this thing, I won't give them no recognition whatsoever, but I'll take all the credit. And then I might even just kill them off. You know, I might have used them for a little bit, and then once I get the notoriety or fame, and then kill them off, get a different group of people. See? So, I mean, you know, they call that, though, wisdom and knowledge. That's what this book calls that, right? It's just a whole bunch of insincerity. That's what it is. And if you read the Quran, if you read the Sunnah, it's against this. This is the very opposite of Islam. Islam on the outside, so what people see, and Islam on the inside, what people don't see. Because a person that appears one way on the outside, but he's not really that, or she's not really that way on the inside, in Islam we call that being a munafiq. Example, you say you believe in Allah, but you don't believe in Allah, but you come to the believer saying that you're a believer, but you're really not a believer. You're a munafiq, full-fledged, right? This book is telling you to have that mentality. And the only reason really I brung it up was because actually a few Muslim brothers told me to, brother, go ahead, check this book out. And I had talked about this book before. I had seen it, I had borrowed one from a brother, and I wasn't too interested in it. You know, they was like, well, brother, you know, they start talking about, you know, tactics and strategies in book. You always talking about tactics and strategies. I said, yeah, I am. I talk about tactics and strategies and stuff like that. When I started reading this book, then I said, hold on. I'm not talking about this type of tactic and strategy, Aki. Well, what you talking about? I said, no. This is telling you to be insincere in the heart and then project a certain way to other people to gain for self at the detriment of everybody else. That's not what I meant by, I said Islam didn't come with that. Islam came to heal people and to use tactics and strategies in order to be able to get to the goal, in order to be able to heal people, because and to remove those tyrants out the way, whether it be within your own self and your own soul, you're being a tyrant to yourself, or people on the outside being a tyrant. Remove those so that the hearts and the minds of people can become fixed and pure, and people can actually grow and have sincerity with each other. You see, you can have sincerity with each other and on a purified level, right? Think about the relationships that men and women are in nowadays. Let's take that for an example. Do you see how much insincerity is out there? How many hearts have been broken because a man did this to a woman and was insincere? He stayed with the woman, he got what he wanted, and he left and jumped onto the next woman and was lying to her at the same time because he had this type of mentality in his head. He had a 48 laws of power going on in his head. All the TV shows he saw, all the things he saw inside society, the big wigs, or what you want to call them big wigs, are really little wigs because they don't have no true substance within the heart. These politicians and these people that run the society, they're the ones that trickled that mentality down through the television, through the music. They control the media. So the mentality is they're also putting the musicians. You don't think that they go to these musicians and say, hey, you know, what about this subject? Let's talk, let's rap, or let's sing about some heartbreaking. Let's rap, or let's sing about how the guy broke her heart and how slick he did it, how tactful he did it, how sincere he was to her. I mean, they not say it like that, but that's what it comes across as. right? That type of mentality is even manifested even in today's relationships between men and women. Women, how much money can they get out of the guy? He's only about the money. That's it. You know, never mind the mind, never mind. So we not even caring on that because men broke the heart so many times. We can't trust a man. So we just about the money. In the pockets, that's it. See? And you mess around and you get a sincere man and you break his heart and now he turns around and become a player. It's a vicious cycle both ways. See? But it's us as individuals, we're caught in a higher game. See? Because those at top, they brung the mentality out. They made it seem, I mean, where did you start to think that being a player is cool? Where did you start thinking that being insincere is cool? That it's cool to break each other's hearts. That it's cool to ruin each other's souls. And that's just in personal relationships. I'm not even talking about, I mean, we talk about the economic sector. The games that they play in the economic sector. With the banking and the credit and the usury and the interest. This type of mentality of power for the few is all throughout the whole society. And so what they hate about Islam, true Islam, is it starts to slowly get rid of that on different levels. You know, and unfortunately it has to go against the desires of what people have become steeped in. And so that's when people fight you back. Because they'll cling on to the thing that's hurting and killing them. Because they think it's something good. They've convinced themselves that it's something good for them. But it's actually like a person in a ship is sinking. And you're drowning. And you don't know you're drowning, but you feel you're drowning. And you don't know how to swim away from it, but it's just what you're used to. Right? Or a burning house. Or the house is burning. You don't know how to get out, but you're choking. Calling on the floor. Somebody try to grab you and pull you out. And the next thing you know, you fighting them because you don't know who's grabbing you. You're not trying to get out. Right? Or something like that. But the point is, you guys excuse my voice because I'm coming down with something, I think. But the whole point is this book, 48 Laws of Power, garbage. You know, and if you're spiritually, and hey, you don't have to, I mean, I'm going to say this in context-wise, you don't even have to be a Muslim out there. Any spiritual practice that's telling you to purify yourself and do good, to be sincere, to have good intention, to do well to people out of sincerity, not out of appearing to do good, right? So that you can get something out of them. You know, if you are reading the book, this book, and it's telling you to do these things for insincerity, that's just going to make the society and your own soul worser. You know? And I had to go ahead and say something. There was something else I read in here, and I don't know exactly where it's at, but it was something that stuck in my head. And that was something like this. It said, here's a concept, and it was a code concept. It said, it doesn't matter. It said something to the effect of this. It doesn't matter what a person does when an outcome happens, because whether they meant to do it or they did not mean to do it, the outcome still is the same, and so it is treated the same, right? And so basically what it was saying is, it doesn't matter if a person accidentally hurt something, or it doesn't matter if a person purposely did something, the outcome is the same, so the judgment should be the same, right? So, or to act a certain way, you know, and the outcome will come about from your acting, right? And whatever outcome happens, you know, they said something like it's the same if you acted out or whether you were sincere. It don't matter. That's how they said it. It doesn't matter if you're being sincere. It doesn't matter if you're being insincere. Whatever action that you're doing, the outcome will be the same. So go ahead and do what you got to do for the outcome. And that's not true. You know, that's not true in the spiritual sense within yourself. You know, if I do something out of sincerity, that counts to Allah. And if I do something not in sincerity, that don't count to Allah. Like if I go out there and give charity, and I'm giving charity to people, but I'm doing it because I want people to see me give charity, that's it. I don't get that from Allah again in the next life. I don't get that. I don't get that recognition. I get the recognition you did it to be seen of people, so that's your recognition. You get nothing for that. But if you did it to please Allah because Allah says this is a good deed, then it goes with Allah, and Allah will give you in kind in the next life and something in this life, inshallah. Right? So that's what we have to understand. Sincerity goes a long way. Hence we have the phrase, niyyah is what counts. Sincere intention is what counts. So that's basically I wanted to share a little bit. I might go into this book again and go more in depth and go to the different things. I haven't really got my mind completely 100% together, to go all the way into it. But to this little bit that I have, I hope I made some sense what I was saying. And I just want to say, sincerity is a must in order to heal people. True power comes when you are sincere and people feel you are sincere. And that starts to spread in society, and you start fixing the problems of people through sincerity, because there's a saying in Islam. It says, he or she who solves the problem of a people rules them. So if you solve the problem of people, they naturally gravitate towards you. And if you do it to please Allah, they'll feel the spirituality coming from you for that, based on that. Right? This is how true healing in any society can happen, when people are honest and sincere with each other. They ain't got their hand behind their back like what you hiding there. What they up to, what they do. You can't never have a comprehensive, peaceful society on a majority peaceful level if everyone's always hiding something and trying to, not be sincere. And it's just about skim surface appearance only. It's superficial. How can you heal something deep when you're only coming superficial at the surface? Right? You can't. So that's my whole point in saying this. This book teaches you to be superficial. This book teaches you to be deceptive. This book teaches you to be insincere. And that's why society is in the predicament that it's in right now. Because these people who think like this run it. So if you do get this book, 48 Laws of Power, don't just be reading it to read it just be like, oh yeah, I'm going to take from this or whatever, whatnot. But actually read it if you want to study the mentality, the mind of the people that's running this stuff. And then try to look in society on different levels, like the social, the media, the economics, the politics, and see where you see it at. Use this against them to be the piercing their mind. And don't let the waswasil whisper inside your head start making you adopting the insincere route. Right? So, till next time, I hope I made some sense. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Black power. And free the land in your heart towards what is righteous and what is good. And that'll make a better life for all of us. For all of us. Because there's too much craziness going on out here. All right. Peace. Have a good day.